Sometimes you should have spoken a bit louder. You are the MC. Right? Anyway, thank you once again, everyone who's come. This morning, what we want to have is a very free-flow conversation about this very important theme of smart farming, new technology, agriculture. And I have with me two distinguished panelists, one from China, Nanjing University, China, and of course Dr. Siva from our own UPM. Both are very accomplished. I don't want to go through the CV. You can read it in the booklet. But there is one panelist missing. So if any of the audience wants to be a panelist who has a lot of things to say, please come forward. Anybody? Anybody in precision agriculture or smart farming who has a lot of things to say to the audience can join us? Nobody? Okay, in that case, we'll just have to, what I'll do is we'll have some 5 to 10 minutes views from our two panelists about their work, about the challenges of smart farming in the tropics. And after that, I'll open up to the audience to get some questions, some views from the audience on this topic of smart farming, how we're doing in the tropics. And we'll have a discussion, and after that, maybe we can have a roundup from our panelists. But I've spoken to both of them, and I'm very impressed with what they've done in terms of technology development in the smart farming area. Whatever it is, nowadays everyone wants to be smart. We talk about smart cities, we talk about smartphone, smart farming. The only problem is we need more smart leaders. This is something that I don't know whether technology can do that. Maybe now they're talking about using AI to actually build smart leaders, or AI will be the spokesperson for leaders. So these are new opportunities. Anyway, we're going to have a good conversation, I hope, this morning on this topic of smart farming, especially the challenges in the tropics. Is there enough talent? How are we collaborating? The adoption, is it widespread or is it still in the research stage? So can I first invite Dr. Siva from UPM to give his points, please. Big hand for Dr. Siva.
Thank you, Dato'. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to also acknowledge Academy of Sciences for having me here. I think the concept of smart farming is very interesting to many people, even people without much agricultural background, because smart farming actually is a hybrid of so many things. But I'd like to explain to you at the core of smart farming or digital farming, there is something called precision agriculture. And can you put up the slide, please? So in precision agriculture, the narrative is optimization. So in agriculture, when we have fertilizers, pest and disease control and all this, what matters most is how do we optimize. We shouldn't over-apply or we shouldn't under-apply. So this is where the emergence of precision agriculture early in the 90s came about and sort of fixed a lot of things regarding optimization. And of course, the tools for precision agriculture is quite varied. So you have from, for example, if you look at this bubble chart here, from spatial temporal modeling right down to precision support systems. So these are the very tools that defined precision agriculture at the time, okay, and gave rise to the whole narrative of optimization. As we moved a little further in the bubble, we came about not so far, not so long ago, something called smart agriculture. In smart agriculture, the narrative is different. It's about real time. That means capturing data in real time. So for that, you had so many other tools that were developed. Some of it was an offshoot of the tools that happened in precision agriculture. But I'd like to focus on tools like AI, IoT, and also sensors and drones, as well as telemetry. So these are the tools that came about that allowed farmers or practitioners to be able to capture data in real time, and that sort of changed the game. It changed the game as compared to what precision agriculture could do, because precision agriculture could not do this efficiently, collecting information in real time. Then, as we move further in the bubble, we are dealing with what is known as digital agriculture. In digital agriculture, the narrative is different. It's about connectivity. How do you connect between one farm and the other? And how do you connect between farm and marketplace? And these are important considerations to the general public, because if you are a farmer and you're growing vegetables, and if these vegetables are not much in demand, then you're going to run into a loss, because there's wastage. The UN predicts that wastage coming from our ag fields are about 30 to 35%. So that's something that is not good. That's why digital agriculture has become very powerful in that sense. A lot of solutions are being built based on this concept of zero wastage. So all these three technologies are interrelated. That's why I call it a nexus. And interestingly, all three of them are sitting on what is known as a data-driven concept. Without data, we're not going to go anywhere. A lot of people seem to think that data is the new oil. You know, data is very expensive and very precious. So today we are dealing with agriculture in a very different perspective. It's not just about growing crops and getting your outputs, but it's also about looking into what's going to happen the next season and the seasons after that. So that's my opening shot.
Oh, very good. Actually, this is the first time I hear of this nexus in precision, smart and digital. And sometimes people call also intelligent farming, smart farming, intelligent farming. But I'm sure the key thing is the digital infrastructure. If you don't have that in place, then it's very difficult to implement smart farming. But that's why I would like to stress on the point that this is all driven by sustainability, because of the need to sustain food production, agriculture. We need to look at new ways. And we talk about sustainability, it's not just productivity or climate change, it's the farmer. Farmer is not getting the returns. I'm familiar with the rubber industry in Malaysia now. Rubber, we are no longer number one, we are number 9. Because the price of rubber has been depressed for a long time. And we also have problems with labor in Malaysia. So I'm actually very involved in the rubber industry. I'm now on the project to see whether we can convert latex into biofuel, because the idea is the price. But whatever it is, this smart farming, intelligent farming is something I think which is developing very fast. And unless we embrace this, we will be behind. Okay, next we will allow Professor Liu from Nanjing Technical University to speak about, I've spoken to him a bit before the discussion about his very nice invention, this from you.
Okay. Okay, first of all, thanks a lot for giving the opportunity. I'm Professor Lei Shu from Nanjing Agricultural University. and I'm also income professor from University of Kingston, UK. And my research here is actually about IoT, artificial intelligence, and since I worked in Emerging Agriculture University, I'm working all with smart agriculture. It's my first time to be in Malaysia. I get a very good impression. Very happy for attending this conference. Okay. And in terms of this topical region for smart agriculture topic, actually, okay. Actually, before coming here, I thought it will be better if they can help me to share the slide. I had a question. I had a question that actually asked myself a long time ago. I also want to having the opportunity to share my vision. I hope to ask everyone of you think about the problem. What will agriculture will be in the future? The future can be a short time and a long time. So if we look at the current agricultural production status, we are actually facing a lot of challenges. I think some gentlemen talked about challenges of extreme weather already yesterday. And we are having the problem for population, number of people are growing. And we are also having the traffic flow changing. I see in Malaysia, this kind of change is not, it's coming, but not that much yet. But inside of China, a lot of cars from a traditional petrol gasoline-based motor changing to EV cars. And when I say this, the issue that I hope you to think about how we can support so many people, how can we have enough food to support the population. Energy actually requires us to consider about the land, and the agricultural production also requires us to think about the land. But do we have enough land to support agricultural production? And meanwhile, do we have enough land to support energy? Especially if we think about the solar energy, we use the solar panel to harvest the energy. Do we have enough land? Right? And they talk about and they think about this agriculture, smart agriculture, revision again back. I'm not sure whether some of you know the vision about the industrial 4.0. That concept was mentioned, I think, back in 2011. That time, the IoT technology were getting popular. A lot of people, a lot of researchers started to think that we can apply IoT technologies for factory, for industrial field. And then after 7 years, I think back in 2017 or 18, anyway, in China we started from 2017, 7 or 6 years back, after the vision of Industry 4.0, people started to talk about agriculture 4.0. Okay? And in that vision, we consider slightly the same as smart agriculture. We use IoT technologies, AI technologies, and also computer vision, all that kind of technology, robots, to solve the problem about agricultural production in the future. That is the vision for somehow I can say, for smart agriculture today. He already gave a very nice explanation about the concept of smart agriculture. Then, let's come back to the question, what will the agriculture will be in the future? What will be after agriculture 4.0? Then we need to have the answer, right? So in our research, we consider that we need to think a little bit further for supporting the energy harvesting and the agriculture production at the same time. And then that will bring us into a new vision, agriculture 5.0, in which we need to use the land to support the agricultural production and energy harvesting at the same time. Then we get to the new word, PV farm, or voltaic farm. We can use the land to produce the crop, produce the food. At the same time, we can harvest energy. And this concept is kind of new back in, I can say, 2019. Inside China, our research group probably one of the first research group mentioned about this concept. But nowadays, a lot of people, a lot of countries in the world are doing so. Yesterday, I communicated with a gentleman from the Ministry of Natural Resources. Yes, that's a nice gentleman. He shared with me that in Malaysia, you already have this kind of PV farm in Kuala Lumpur. But probably you did not notice that previously. I want to emphasize that this will be, somehow will be the future. I give you an example to think about this. Currently inside of China, we have a lot of private cars, can be like 0.2 billion private cars. And if you think about this number of cars, if the energy they can consume annually, if we use only solar power panel, I mean PV stations to support these cars, and we think about how large the size the PV farm should be. We can have a simple calculation. The size of the PV farm, PV station can be two times, or even higher than the size of Beijing City, if you some of you visit Beijing City already. So in that case, it can be PV ocean, okay? So yesterday, the gentleman asked me, the technology had already been invested in other countries, how Malaysia to catch up. And I share my view with him. For that kind of technologies, for agriculture, for precision agriculture, smart agriculture, currently a lot of countries are working on it, have already invested a lot of money. However, if we think a little bit in advance, if we think that the future agricultural problem will be PV agriculture, PV farm, then in that point of view, still a very important, critical, I think a critical point in the technology tree, Malaysia people can catch up, do something more, so, and somehow bypass the existing development of other countries, okay? And one more thing I want to share, I mentioned to you, yes. For my currently research work, we are developing a type of very special new devices that can hear insects, which can be used for actually intelligent pest management. This kind of device, unfortunately the slide is not shown. This kind of device has a huge market in China. The annual market can have like 3 million, okay? Can be around 2.5 billion RMB. inside China. It's already a quite natural devices in China. And it seems that I talked with some professor in Malaysia said that this type of device have not been used in Malaysia yet. So later, if they can share the slide, I really want to share these products to our audience. Okay, that device can be a very unique device. In the future, that when we think about the unmanned agriculture, in the future we will not have a lot of people to work in the farm. Okay, limited people work in the farm, and we need to have a device to stand in the farm to watch all the kinds of activities, all the kinds of things, all the to collect all the necessary informations from the farm. Then we need to have a device that can be can stand there for like 24 hours a day to collect all kinds of information. The device that I mentioned is actually the main is IoT-based, smart, solar insecticidal lamp. It's a special device that we can use the light during the night. Use the light to attract some special pest, which is a metal mesh, and release high voltage discharge to kill the pest. After killing the pest, the body will drop to a small box, and we use computer vision and AI technology to immediately recognize what kind of pest selected we kill. And then we can accurately adjust the wavelength of the light source, and we can switch the exactly on and the off time of the light to accurately kill the pest. It's a technology we can control, somehow also can
so it's selective
and control the biodiversity, kind of protecting the growth of agriculture, the plants. Okay.
Yeah, it's important that it's selective, otherwise you'll be killing all the pollinating insects. That is not good for agriculture. But whatever it is, we see that change is inevitable in agriculture. In fact, change is inevitable in the world. And we talk about climate is changing. And it's interesting that a lot of these technologies, IoT, sensors, came from the manufacturing sector, IR 4.0, and now it's trickling down to the agriculture sector because we find problems of dealing with productivity, automation, and also the cost. So, my question is, we are now talking about, it's not just for Malaysia, I must remind, it's for the tropics. So we are talking about the tropics here. What will be the main challenges that we face in trying to embrace this new form of smart agriculture, smart farming? What will be the main obstacles, please, Dr. Siva?
I think the first major challenge, which is quite true for all three of it, precision agriculture, smart agriculture, and also digital agriculture, is the technology structure itself. If you look at these technologies, it is not a one piece. As opposed to, as an example, maybe hybrid seeds or GMO seeds, for example. All the signs of all the genetics have been summarized in that seed, and the farmer needs to take the seed and grow it, and after 3-4 months, he or she is happy, 10-20% extra yield. So, but the farmer doesn't have to understand the complexities of genetics that went into producing that. Precision agriculture is far from that, and so is smart agriculture. It's all in bits and pieces. So, for example, if you are commissioning a drone to spray chemicals into your rice field, then you need to also have imaging, for example, to show where is the improvement and where is the the trends and all that. So it's a little bit of everything, you have to piece things together. So at the moment, we don't have a one piece. I think the closest you can get to a one piece is probably having a software that can be used in your smartphone, for example, and the farmer can navigate. That could be one way to at least get closer to being a one piece. So this is one aspect of technology structure. The other problem we also have is infrastructure. A lot of these technologies require proper infrastructure. For example, data connectivity and all that. So this is something still lacking, not just in Malaysia, but in many parts of the world. So how to fix this? I think you need to also understand one thing. Not every farmer can afford a drone. Although drones are becoming cheaper, but not every farmer can afford it. A lot of these drones are commissioned by vendors who provide it as a service.
So how do we make it more accessible and more?
So this is where I think there must be some form of incentivization. You must give incentives to the farmers. If they are going to use this kind of technologies, give them a tax break or something like that. I think this will be something which we can think about at the policy level. Subsidies might not work, but I'm talking about incentives. If they are doing well, then give them something. So that should be the way. And the other most important challenge we have today is data propriety and also ownership. So if there's a company that is collecting data from a farmer's field, for example, and then you develop a product out of it, and then later you go to the farmer and sell that product. This is how it can happen. A lot of people as I said, data is very precious. People are collecting data from farmers' fields and so on, but what do the farmers get? They end up paying for the service. So this is something we need to think about. How can we navigate with these issues before we can even talk about, option. This has to be ironed out. And of course, Professor Lee just now mentioned about, population growth, climate change, lack of arable land, and so on. But these negativities are, you must also look at the positive thing that is happening, the increase in computing power. Today, so much of computing power is available at our fingertips. So I look at it, in some places in the world, they are talking about this already, the Uberization of agricultural services. So for example, if you want to fertilize your field, you probably go to your phone app and call for a service just like how you call for a taxi. This is called machine-to-machine communication. This is already being discussed, and people are trying to use this as a leverage against your lack of labor, lack of manpower.
So all these are developing in the tropical countries, or are they mostly in the West?
Well, some of it are also happening in China, I've been told. So these are what do you call, things that are positive, the way I look at it, and I think we should leverage on it.
Okay, Prof. Liu, anything to add to that?
Okay, yes, I agree with Professor Sawi. Currently, there are a lot of challenges for realizing the vision of agriculture. Cost is a very important factor we need to consider. The device, the new technologies needs a lot of money to invest from the government. Companies in the smart agriculture field, some of them are kind of startup companies, some of them kind of new. So not many of them can invest a lot of money for this. So the cost for new technology is one of the challenging issues that we need to consider. The second one is about the cross-discipline technology, cross-discipline knowledges. Smart agriculture is a field that requires the people at least have two different kinds of knowledges. One in the side of computer science, computer engineering. Another one will be agricultural field. We need to understand, for example, we need to understand the behavior of the pest. We need to understand the growing status of the crops, okay? And so that we can use the right sensor, use the right capture the image at the right time for the crop, all that kind of information. So having this kind of people is kind of important. We need to have very good program. I don't know whether in Malaysia you started this kind of program or not, but in China, in these days, we are creating new program like showing smart agriculture. Actually, my colleague changed from artificial intelligence to smart agriculture. So we are changing. We are also changing. We try to provide new program to educate new students for this field. And another thing, kind of complicated, is when we put computer science and science from agricultural field to work together, actually we are having two different kinds of perspectives for the same problem. And we need to have communication, we need to have discussion. But what tricky point is who will lead? That's a very interesting issue. Who will lead the project so we are somehow resulting a different result. So that's one thing maybe you consider. In terms of larger size, other challenges can be the complexity of the problem itself. Smart agriculture things like even just talking about the cultivation of crop, rice. And then you see that we are having rice in Malaysia, we're having rice in Thailand, in Vietnam, in China. So the different geolocation actually has different kind of small local weather, local environment. Then applying the precision agriculture, if you develop a certain AI model for this special case, probably cannot be applied to another country or another field, and that's a problem we need to further consider. And data, yes, data is another very important issue. For example, I give one example in China for this, what I just mentioned, so-called solo insecticidal lab. In China, we have more than 10 leading companies in this field. And all these companies, they collect the data for their own purpose. They use the data, but they don't share the data with each other. That can be a difficulty. So data sharing is a critical issue, actually. It should be somehow organized by the government. Otherwise, the company, they will not actively to share the data with other companies. And another thing is security. I don't know whether some of you think the challenge is information security, actually. I give you one example in China. In China, we have imported a lot of harvester kind of robots from country outside of China. And those kind of devices annually work inside China for huge around years. And that robot can harvest all kinds of information, what kind of land, what kind of crop field there, and all this data will go back to the central station. and the data will be controlled by another country. I don't want to mention it. Okay, then it's actually a national level data security problem. This is one aspect. Another aspect is for small agricultural company or new starting agricultural company. At this moment, they consider much more on inventing the new technologies. They did not consider that much on the security, information security aspect. Really, device you deploy in the open field, in the farm, can be easily stolen by some bad person, and then that person can inject the data, or that person can your device and understand all the time, harvest this, hear all these information. So security actually is also a very important issue. Another example, you can think about the greenhouse. If you are owner of a big greenhouse, and if a bad person your temperature sensor, okay, of the greenhouse, okay, and then you probably can, that person can probably change the control of the greenhouse. Then you did not know that the temperature will change, and then all the things inside the greenhouse can be destroyed. Okay, these kind of things should be also considered. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. So as you can see, there's so many obstacles and challenges we need to deal with. It's not that straightforward. And as mentioned, data is everywhere, is critical. How you manage your data, how you generate the data, sharing your data, these are all challenges. And of course, we see this also in Malaysia. Now, well, I was just thinking, we talk about the tropics. We are within a certain boundary, right? But as the climate changes, these boundaries will change, right? Because the global warming temperature will be soon, Europe will be part of the tropics. So these are things we need to look at in trying to, whatever it is, what has been mentioned yesterday is the tropics, or the conditions of the tropics, or the wealth of the tropics are critical to the world. That's why we were saying that the world needs to pay attention. Now I would like to open up to the audience. We have listened to the two panelists talking about what exactly is smart agriculture, what are the challenges, what are the obstacles we need to deal with, technology development, are we sharing, are we collaborating, and multidiscipline. So anybody wants to offer some views?
Across the growing stage, and to detect where are the pressure points. For example, rice is a very straightforward crop because you have three distinct phases of growth. You have, your panicle initiation, your ripening, and before that you have your the germination upwards. So that's your green phase. That means